This story starts with a fight that should have become a legend but didn't. A white-haired warrior named Baek Mongol stands face to face with a man the entire world fears, the heavenly demon Ashura, a name so terrifying people don't even say it lightly. And yet Ashura just stands there calmly alone, like nothing can touch him, while Mongol is already imagining his future as a hero, the man who defeated a monster. So he smirks and asks any last words. But instead of threatening him, Ashura quietly says, "Please spare me." And just like that, everything breaks. Mongol freezes because the strongest man alive just begged. It makes no sense, it ruins everything. There's no glory in killing someone who's already surrendered. No legend to be told, just embarrassment. But his pride won't let him stop, so he attacks anyway, convinced this is still his moment, while Ashura just looks at him like it's pointless and mutters, "What a waste." And in the next second it's over. One strike, Mongol dies instantly. No epic battle, no back and forth, just a brutal truth. The heavenly demon never begged because he was weak. He begged because it didn't even matter. And then 22 years pass and the demon is still alive, but everything around him has changed. His obsession with power destroyed his own family as his 3 sons fought for succession and all died, leaving only the youngest, Yugang. And this time Ashura raised him differently, not to chase power but to be human. And from the outside it worked because everyone sees Yugang as the perfect successor, calm, wise, terrifying in his own way. One day an advisor proudly reports how he tortured a prisoner for 3 days, describing every brutal detail like it's an achievement, expecting praise, and Yugang just says, "Weak," which shocks the advisor and makes him think he needs to be even more cruel. So he rushes off, while Yugang is left alone thinking these people are insane, because he wasn't calling the torture weak, he was calling himself weak for not even being able to listen. He doesn't belong here, he doesn't want power, he just wants a normal life. But everything he does gets misunderstood. When he throws out trash, people think he's disposing of enemies. When he stays quiet, they think he's plotting something terrifying. He can't act normal because everyone around him is twisted, and worst of all, they all believe he's the future leader. So he finally decides he's going to leave, talk to his father, escape this place before he becomes something he hates. Everything is planned, everything is clear, until suddenly a warlord appears in front of him, smiling and says, "Successor, the Lord is in critical condition." And just like that, the one person who could have set him free might be dying, leaving Yugang with only one path forward, whether he wants it or not, straight into becoming the next heavenly demon. Just like that, everything collapses, because in the very next moment, his father dies. No grand farewell, no miracle, just silence, and Yugang stands there completely stunned, like his entire future just got ripped away in an instant, staring up at the sky with cold, empty eyes, wondering how his life ended up like this, because just a moment ago he was planning to escape, to finally live freely, and now, that path is gone. So he rushes to his father's side, demanding answers, but the physician calmly explains that the internal injuries from the battle at Mount Bong had worsened beyond recovery, and even breathing had become a struggle. Yet somehow his father still forces himself to speak, calling Yugang closer, telling him to listen carefully, and then drops the one thing Yugang never wanted to hear. "From now on, you will be the leader of the demonic cult." And inside, Yugang just breaks, because this is exactly what he was trying to run from, and now it's unavoidable. But before he can even process it, something feels off. There's a presence in his quarters, unfamiliar, wrong, and the moment he turns to question it, the stranger moves faster than his eyes can follow, striking his pressure points and freezing his body completely. Yugang panics, realizing he can't even move, let alone fight, and before he can call for help, the man casually says he'll be taking him along. And just like that, he's kidnapped from his own home, dragged away while completely helpless. But the chaos doesn't go unnoticed. Alarms ring out. Elite squads are mobilized, the Red Ghost Corps, the Yacha Soul Pursuit Squad, all sent to hunt down the intruder, shouting orders to kill Yugang on sight, even offering rewards to whoever succeeds, turning him from successor to target in seconds. And Yugang hears it all, his own people trying to kill him, but the man carrying him doesn't even slow down, because every single pursuer that gets close is cut down effortlessly, like they were never a threat to begin with, bodies dropping one after another, and Yugang can only watch in shock as elite warriors are erased like nothing, until even the commanders hesitate, realizing something bigger is at play, because one of them suddenly stops the chase, claiming that killing Yugang now would bring disaster upon the cult, that the heavenly demon had already made preparations for this. And instead of continuing the pursuit, they shift focus, ordering the bodies to be cleaned up and the elders to gather, because if Yugang is gone, then there's only one thing left to do: begin the ceremony for the next cult leader. Meanwhile, Yugang is still being carried far away, hours passing until they finally stop, the man releasing his pressure points, and the moment Yugang regains control of his body, he demands answers, but instead of hostility, the man suddenly kneels before him and introduces himself as Pang Chun, a servant created solely to serve him, which completely confuses Yugang, making him wonder if this man was prepared by his father all along. So he asks the one question that matters: who is behind the rebellion? And when Pang Chun confirms it's Somian Magun, someone Yugang once trusted, It all clicks into place: betrayal, chaos, everything. But instead of anger, Yugang sees an opportunity, because if Somian Magun wants to be the cult leader so badly, then maybe he can just let him have it. Maybe this is his chance to finally escape, to step down and live the peaceful life he always wanted. But then he looks at Pang Chun and realizes the real problem isn't the rebellion. It's the fact that this insanely loyal, ridiculously strong servant is standing right in front of him, completely devoted, and not someone he can just casually get rid of. Yugang looks at Pang Chun and realizes this isn't going to be easy, so he tries the most logical thing first, telling him straight, "You've pledged your loyalty to the wrong person. The current cult leader is Somian Magun, so just leave." But Pang Chun doesn't even hesitate, calmly saying the only people he follows are the heavenly demon Ashura and his lord, and if Yugang truly wishes it, he can take his life right here. And the moment Yugang sees those eyes, completely serious, completely ready to die on command, he switches tactics and gets annoyed instead. "You call me cult leader but disobey me. Are you mocking me? I said leave," and somehow Pang Chun interprets that as failure on his part and immediately starts smashing his own head against a wall to punish himself. Over and over, no hesitation, no sense of self-preservation, until Yugang panics and yells at him to stop, but the guy just keeps going, saying he'll continue until the cult leader orders him to stop, forcing Yugang to quickly command him to stop, just to end the madness. And as Pang Chun instantly obeys, Yugang can't help but think, what kind of monster did his father raise? But there's no time to dwell on it because now they need to survive, so Yugang suggests finding a guest house, only to find out Pang Chun has zero money, meaning they're basically stranded, until Pang Chun casually mentions there's a place with food and shelter waiting for them, which immediately sounds suspicious, and sure enough, the moment they arrive, they're surrounded. Men with bows drawn, killing intent thick in the air, elites of the Green Forest gang, and Yugang instantly realizes this is bad, so he tries to de-escalate, telling Pang Chun to stay quiet while he apologizes. But of course Pang Chun does the exact opposite, shouting arrogantly and provoking them even more, forcing Yugang to desperately try and make him repeat an apology like a child, which only pisses the gang off further. And within seconds arrows rain down, but Pang Chun doesn't even move properly. He just destroys them like swatting flies. And the gang members realize this isn't an ordinary opponent trying to retreat, but Pang Chun is already behind their leader, ending him in an instant, and Yugang immediately freaks out, yelling at him for killing people recklessly, only for Pang Chun to casually claim the man isn't dead, which somehow makes it even worse. And just like that, they're dragged into the Green Forest base, entering a stronghold that Pang Chun openly insults as worse than a stable, earning awkward reactions from everyone around, until suddenly Yugang notices her, a beautiful woman standing there, so out of place that for a second he genuinely wonders if she's some kind of fairy being held captive. And without thinking too much, he whispers to Pang Chun that they need to rescue her, but the illusion shatters instantly when she opens her mouth and casually insults them, completely unbothered, completely wild, leaving Yugang stunned as he realizes she's just as insane as everyone else here. And before things can calm down, Pang Chun gets triggered again and launches at her. She counters immediately. Their weapons clash, her movements sharp and skilled, but Pang Chun is on a completely different level, breaking through her attacks and turning her own weapon against her, forcing her to dodge and finally recognize the danger he poses. Tension exploding in the room as both sides prepare to escalate, until suddenly everything flips again as the surrounding members aim their weapons at Yugang, threatening to kill him if Pang Chun doesn't stop. And just like that, Yugang finds himself caught in the middle, realizing he's no longer just some misunderstood successor, but a hostage in a deadly standoff. And for the first time, his frustration turns into action as he releases his own power, shocking everyone around him, proving he's not weak, not helpless, and definitely not someone to be taken lightly, which only makes Pang Chun even more impressed, praising him loudly like a proud servant while completely missing the tension of the situation, pushing Yugang closer to losing his patience as he snaps at him for not listening earlier, only for Pang Chun to once again start punishing himself by smashing his head into the ground, forcing Yugang to stop him again, while the girl watches all of this unfold and laughs, calling them more troublesome than actual bandits.